Ohio. Hope those of you playing in your NFL contest today in Week 16 are enjoying yourselves and being profitable. I am Fast Eddie Fear, with Monday being Christmas Eve. As always in the NBA, there are no games. Christmas Day, there are 5 premium select choice. Beautiful games. But nobody plays tomorrow, so in order to not let things get too out of hand and fall behind in the scheduling, the NFL has given us a full bevy of contests today. 11 total games on the day, 9 in the main slate, which we will be discussing forthwith. I am in the process of uploading my rankings for the day. They present to you a curated player pool, among other things. I've basically left everyone ranked whom I would put in at least one out of 150 lineups. If you're looking to MME, it's one of many ways to just get a player pool real quick, and then everyone has a letter grade in cash and tournaments, and as such becomes hopefully reasonably easy to fill in. Or if you just want to see where my mind is at on a couple of guys. Also, if you are in the premium Slack, it provides sort of a useful reference point for questions, seeing where my conclusions differ with your own. For example, yesterday was pretty good, although the first game devolving into that triple overtime spectacle certainly polarized it a little bit, whereas if you had less than 3 guys from that game, you were done. And if you had 3, you were fighting with the rest of your lineup, and if you had 4+, you were doing pretty good, was about how that went down. Think we were good because as the news came out during the day, I was all over saying, hey, make sure you have Beal and Satoransky, and Lowry was the other one that I was particularly attracted to. But again, you ended up with guys like Beal getting 50+ minutes, and due to the blowout in the Toronto game, you ended up getting, say, only 32 minutes or whatever out of Kyle Lowry, who looked quite good, but again, minutes are king when we're talking about the NBA, so unsurprisingly, he didn't turn out to be quite as stellar a play as Bradley Beal, picking up the first triple-double of his career, and all the other junk that was going on there. So I haven't seen the tweet from this show yet, so I just want to make sure we're in the right room and everything before we go on our spiel, if you will, and get through all these games. So a lot of people were quite nicely profitable yesterday, and yep, we're going in the wrong room again. I say fi unto the Josh Engelman for sticking us in the wrong room. Let's see if this is it. Yep, this is it. So give me a minute as I move some links around and let people know where we should be. So I do apologize for the delay, those of you who were here on time. Showing people where the show is, firing up all the chat windows, which hopefully will take us to the right place at the right time. Apologize for the delay, but stops me from having to repeat everything 100 times and get all the questions going. All right, well. Yep, okay, I'm live but under the wrong tag. Alright, so hopefully that will allow people to, I guess I should tweet it out too. Alright, that will have to do. Here we go. Let's get in. Much like yesterday, one of the first games starting off is objectively the best game of the evening. Looking at the New Orleans Pelicans going in and visiting the Sacramento Kings. This obviously an ideal game environment, over-under hovering around 240 game, very nearly a pick'em. These two teams did play earlier in this year and put up some 270-odd points, I think. So certainly a spot where we think we would like to have some exposure, even if 0, let alone 1, 2, or 3 overtimes are played in this environment. Let's talk about the visiting Pelicans again real quick. Everyone appears healthy except for Mirotic, who will miss another game. Randall is still just objectively too cheap on DraftKings. I'm expecting him to be one of the highest owned players there. Let me take a look at the main slate ownership projections right now on Awesemo.com. If you were an Awesemo.com member, you could look at these yourself. And yes, not surprisingly, they have him tied as one of the highest owned players on the slate. Julius Randle with near 30% ownership, and that's what I would think, which is pretty significant on a 9-game slate. So he's super chalky guy on DraftKings. On FanDuel, still certainly in play at 8,800, but it makes it more interesting. You're saving significant money going to some of the other guys there, but certainly wouldn't try to talk anyone off Julius Randle in an incredible matchup. Either side. Drew Holiday is still expensive, ends up profiling a little bit more of a cashy play, fills in what can be a sticky shooting guard spot, paying over $9,000 for him. You are starting to close off the ceiling a little bit, but certainly not a guy it's impossible to get 60 out of, and if it's going to occur, this would certainly be the game in which to do it. Especially on FanDuel, I like Etuan Moore as a lower-owned, cheaper piece of this game, who I still think does carry a really big upside. He had multiple 40-plus fantasy point games earlier this year. Last game, they appeared to want to give him still significant amounts of run. He shot, God, I don't even remember, 3 for 18 in that game. I could click on his name and take a look here, but I'm a little scared to. But Etuan Moore, certainly someone who carries an upside. And again, especially FanDuel, where you can drop it. He's 4,400. That feels really good to me. One of my favorite tournament guys over there. DraftKings certainly at 4,500, not out of play. Ends in a similar vein with guys like him and Wesley Matthews, who is too cheap on DraftKings, and competing with Jaren Blossom Game, who should be one of the most popular value plays on the day. But I do think carrying a little bit more of an upside, and only I think $800 more on DraftKings. Etuan Moore is someone I think we should have some respect for, certainly in this spot. I will check. Yeah, he was 4 of 18 in that last game. And again, had 20 fantasy points. So God forbid he made half of his shots from the field. He would have had 34 fantasy points. And again, the environment does not get much better. You can certainly